Lesson 1, Finding the Right Fit.
Hey Anna, check out these new shoes I found online. Those look perfect, don't they?
Ooh, let me see. Do they have any in my size?
Yeah, it looks like they have a variety of sizes available. Why don't we take a look together?
Sounds good. I've been needing a new pair of comfortable, stylish shoes for spring.
Awesome. Okay, let's see what they've got. They've got these sleek leather loafers in black and brown.
Ooh, the brown ones are really nice. And they have a good range of sizes. Maybe I should grab a pair in my size.
Definitely, those would look great with all your spring outfits. And the reviews say they're super comfy too.
Perfect. I'll add them to my cart. Oh, and look at these cute espadrilles. I love the neutral tone.
Oh yeah, those are really nice. And they come in half sizes too, so you should be able to find your perfect fit.
Excellent, that's important for me. I hate when shoes are just a little bit too tight or too loose.
I hear you. Comfort and fit are key, especially for everyday shoes like these.
Absolutely. Ooh, and they have this stylish slip-on sneaker that comes in a bunch of colors.
Nice, I like the look of those. The gray one would go with so many things in your wardrobe.
Definitely. I think I'm going to get that one too. I can never have too many comfortable, versatile shoes.
True that. Alright, let's see if we can find your sizes for everything and get you checked out.
Sounds good. Thanks for helping me shop, John. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Of course. I'm always happy to lend a hand, especially when it comes to finding the perfect shoes.
You're the best. Alright, let's do this. Time to upgrade my spring shoe game.
Ah, yes. This is gonna be great. I can't wait to see you rocking those new kicks.
Lesson 2, Overcoming Public Speaking Nerves.
Whenever I have to give a speech, I always get so nervous. I can't help but imagine the audience is judging me.
I know the feeling, John. Public speaking can be really intimidating. But I've learned a trick that helps me a lot.
Oh yeah? What's that?
Well, instead of picturing a room full of people staring at me, I imagine the audience is just one big person.
One big person? Huh, that's an interesting visualization. How does that help?
It makes it feel more like a one-on-one conversation, you know? Instead of a crowd, it's just me talking to this giant, friendly face.
I can see how that could work. It takes the pressure off a bit. I usually just try to avoid eye contact altogether.
I used to do that too. But then I realized it actually makes it worse. When you avoid the audience, it feels more confrontational.
Ah, good point. Okay, so looking at the big person makes it more personal and approachable. I'll have to try that.
Exactly. And the other thing that helps me is to remember that the audience wants me to succeed.
They do? I always assume they're just waiting for me to mess up.
Not at all. Most people in the audience are just hoping you'll give a great presentation. They're on your side.
Huh, I never thought about it that way. That actually makes me feel a lot better. Thanks for the advice, Anna.
Of course. Public speaking is a skill that takes practice, but these little mindset shifts can make a big difference.
I appreciate you taking the time to share these tips. I feel a lot more prepared and confident now.
I'm so glad. Remember, you've got this. Just imagine that one big, friendly face out there, and you'll do great.
Will do. And hey, maybe I can even get to the point where I actually enjoy public speaking someday.
I bet you will. Keep working at it, and it'll start to feel more natural. You're going to nail your next speech, I just know it.
I hope so. Thanks again, Anna. You're the best.
Lesson 3: Budgeting for the perfect hotel.
Hey Anna, I've been looking at hotel options for our upcoming trip, but I want to make sure we find something that fits our budget.
Okay, great. What kind of criteria are you looking for? Just make sure it's within our budget and offers a private bathroom.
Definitely, those are the two most important factors. I don't want to blow our whole travel budget on an expensive hotel.
Agreed. A private bathroom is a must too. No shared facilities. What's our target price range per night?
Well, I was thinking we should try to keep it under $150 if possible. Does that sound reasonable to you?
Yes, I think that's a good target. We can probably find a really nice, clean hotel in that price range.
Awesome. I'll keep searching and send you any options I find that meet those criteria.
Sounds good. And make sure to check the reviews too. We want a hotel that gets good ratings from past guests.
Absolutely. I'll be on the lookout for places with 4 stars or higher. Quality is important, even on a budget.
For sure. And let me know if you need any other specifics, like location or amenities. I'm happy to give my input.
Will do. I'll send you a few options later today and we can decide together. This is going to be such a great trip.
I can't wait. Traveling with you is always an adventure. I know we'll find the perfect hotel for us.
Definitely. Alright, time to get searching. I'm on a mission to find us the best bang for our buck.
I have no doubt you'll succeed. You're the master trip planner, John. I trust your hotel hunting skills completely.
Well, I do my best. Alright, let's get this hotel booked so we can start getting excited for our getaway.
You got it. I'm already daydreaming about relaxing in our private bathroom after a long day of exploring.
Same here. Okay, talk to you soon with those hotel options. This is going to be epic.
Lesson 4, A Picturesque Adventure.
Hey Anna, you'll never guess where I just got back from. It was in a remote village in Southeast Asia. The place was so picturesque.
Wow, a remote village in Southeast Asia? That sounds absolutely fascinating. What was it like there?
It was incredible. The landscapes were breathtaking, lush, rolling hills, vibrant rice paddies, and these stunning, old-growth forests.
Ah, that sounds like such a serene and beautiful setting. I can just picture it now. What else did you experience there?
Well, the village itself was just as charming. The homes were these traditional wooden structures, and the streets were these winding, cobblestone paths.
Oh my, that sounds like something straight out of a storybook. I can imagine it must have felt like stepping back in time.
Exactly. And the people were so warm and welcoming. They invited me into their homes and shared their local cuisine with me.
How wonderful. Experiencing the hospitality of the locals must have been such a highlight. Did you get to try any unique regional dishes?
I did. There was this incredible noodle dish that was unlike anything I've ever had. The flavors were so complex and fresh.
That sounds delightful. I love discovering new and authentic regional specialties when I travel.
Me too. And the best part was, it felt so untouched by tourism. Like I was really getting a glimpse into the true heart of the culture.
That's so special. Those off the beaten path experiences are truly invaluable. I'm so glad you were able to have that.
It was life-changing, honestly. I came back with such a deep appreciation for the simple beauty of that place.
I can imagine. Those kinds of immersive cultural encounters are so impactful. I'm already jealous that I didn't get to join you.
Well, you'll have to come with me next time. I'd love to share that experience with you.
Absolutely. Consider it a date. I'm ready for our next picturesque adventure together.
Perfect. Trust me, you're going to love it. This trip has me inspired to do more of this kind of travel.
I'm on board. Discovering those hidden gems is what travel is all about. I can't wait.
Me neither. Alright, start planning your wardrobe, we've got a remote village to explore.
Lesson 5, Cautionary Tales.
Hey Anna, I've been hearing some concerning stories from friends who've had their identities stolen. It's really got me thinking about the importance of being cautious.
Oh, that's really worrying to hear. Identity theft is such a serious issue these days. What kinds of things have your friends been dealing with?
Well, one of them had their credit card information compromised and had to deal with all these fraudulent charges. It was a total nightmare trying to get it all sorted out.
Yikes, that sounds absolutely awful. I can imagine how stressful and time-consuming that must have been for your friend. Identity theft is such an invasive violation.
Definitely. And another friend had their social security number stolen, which led to all sorts of problems when it came to taxes and applying for loans.
Geez, that's even worse. Having your personal identification information compromised like that must be just devastating. It can really wreak havoc on your life.
Exactly. It's made me hyper aware of how important it is to be vigilant about protecting my own personal information. I don't want to become a victim of it.
I don't blame you at all. Hearing those kinds of cautionary tales is enough to make anyone want to tighten up their security measures. What are some of the steps you're taking?
Well, I'm being really diligent about monitoring my credit reports and bank statements for any suspicious activity. And I'm also a lot more careful about who I share sensitive info with.
Those are all great precautions. Being proactive like that can make a big difference in prevention. Identity thieves thrive on carelessness, so staying vigilant is key.
Totally. I've also started using stronger passwords and enabling two-factor authentication wherever I can. Anything to make it harder for someone to access my accounts.
Smart moves. Those extra security layers are so important these days. Identity protection should be a top priority, especially with all the cyber threats out there.
Agreed. I just can't imagine how devastating it would be to have to go through what my friends have experienced. I want to do everything I can to protect myself.
Absolutely. Better safe than sorry when it comes to personal information security. It's always better to err on the side of caution.
Definitely. I feel like I'm becoming a bit of a paranoid security freak, but I'd rather that than be caught off guard.
I don't blame you at all. In this day and age, a healthy dose of caution is totally warranted. Better to be overly cautious than have to deal with the fallout of identity theft.
You got that right. Alright, I'm off to review my bank statements one more time. Gotta stay on top of this stuff.
Lesson 6: Healthy Eating Habits.
Hey Anna, I've been wondering, do you follow a specific diet to stay healthy?
I don't really subscribe to any particular diet. I just try to eat a balanced diet with lots of whole, nutrient-rich foods.
Ah, I see. So what does a typical day of eating look like for you?
Well, I make sure to get plenty of fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats. I try to limit processed foods and sugary treats.
That sounds like a pretty solid approach. What are some of your go-to healthy meals or snacks?
For breakfast, I'll often have oatmeal with berries and nuts. Lunch is usually a big salad with grilled chicken or salmon. And for snacks, I love things like Greek yogurt, hummus and veggies, or apple slices with nut butter.
Yum, that all sounds delicious and nutritious. I've been trying to be more mindful of my own eating habits lately.
That's great, John. What kinds of changes have you been making?
Well, I've been trying to cut back on fast food and eating out so much. And I'm making a bigger effort to meal prep healthier options.
That's awesome. Meal prepping is such a game changer for eating well. It takes a bit more work up front, but it pays off big time.
Definitely. And I've also been trying to be more conscious of my portion sizes. I tend to overeat sometimes, especially with the less healthy stuff.
That's a really important point. Portion control is key, even with healthy foods. It's easy to accidentally overdo it.
Totally. I've been using smaller plates and listening more closely to my body's natural hunger and fullness cues.
Those are excellent strategies. Being mindful of your eating habits, instead of just mindlessly consuming, can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. And I have to say, I'm starting to feel a lot better since making these changes. More energy, better digestion, the whole 9 yards.
That's so great to hear, John. Nourishing your body with nutritious, whole foods can have such a positive impact on how you feel.
For sure. I'm really glad I decided to focus on improving my eating habits. It's been a game changer.
I'm proud of you, John. Developing healthy routines takes time and effort, but the benefits are so worth it. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, Anna. I appreciate you taking the time to chat about this with me. It's been really helpful to get your perspective.
Anytime. I'm always happy to discuss healthy living. Let me know if you ever want to swap more recipes or tips.
Will do. Alright, I'm off to prepare a nice, balanced dinner. Gotta keep fueling this body right.
Lesson 7, a breathtaking wedding moment.
At the front of the church, the groom stood waiting. He had a beautiful, tender smile on his face as he watched the guests take their seats.
Oh, how romantic. I can just picture it, the anticipation building, the church filled with the scent of fresh flowers, all eyes focused on that moment.
Exactly. You could feel the electricity in the air, the excitement and joy palpable. The groom's expression was just so full of love and wonder.
I love those precious moments, just before the bride makes her grand entrance. It's like the whole world seems to hold its breath, waiting with bated breath.
Absolutely. And then, the music starts, all heads turn, and there she is, the bride, looking radiant, walking down the aisle towards her soulmate.
Ah, it gives me goosebumps, just thinking about it. That must have been such a breathtaking sight to behold. I can only imagine the look on the groom's face.
Pure joy, I'm sure. His eyes probably lit up, his smile widening with every step she took towards him. It's such a magical, once-in-a-lifetime moment.
I bet he was barely able to contain his emotions. All the anticipation and excitement finally culminating in that perfect, fleeting instant.
Definitely. And I think those are the moments that really stay with you, you know? The ones that seem to slow down time and just imprint themselves on your heart.
I agree completely. Weddings have a way of creating these incredible, almost ethereal experiences that you can't help but be completely captivated by.
Absolutely. It's like everything else fades into the background, and all that matters is the two people pledging their love and commitment to one another.
Beautifully said, John. Weddings have a way of bringing out the romance and wonder in all of us, don't they? It's just such a special, meaningful occasion.
Definitely. I feel lucky to have been able to witness moments like that. They truly are unforgettable.
Me too. Alright, now you've got me all dreamy-eyed and wistful. I may need to start planning my own wedding soon.
I don't blame you. When you see that kind of love in action, it's hard not to get a little inspired. Let me know if you need any planning tips.
Will do. Although I have a feeling you'll be the one needing them before me. You seem to have an eye for these romantic wedding details.
Touche. Who knows, maybe I'll be the next one standing at the altar, waiting for my bride. A man can dream, right?
Absolutely. And I, for one, will be overjoyed to see the joy on your face when that day comes. You deserve all the happiness in the world, John.
Thank you, Anna. You're the best. Alright, I'm off to start planning my future wedding, one tender groom smile at a time.
Lesson 8, Discussing Key Deliverables.
Morning, Anna. I wanted to discuss the key deliverables for our partnership and get your thoughts.
Good morning, John. Absolutely, I'm happy to dive into that. What did you have in mind?
Well, I've been reviewing the initial scope and timeline, and I want to make sure we're aligned on the critical milestones and outputs.
Sounds good. Why don't you walk me through your perspective, and I can share my input as well?
Okay, great. First and foremost, I think it's essential that we deliver the prototype by the end of next month.
That aligns with the timeline we discussed earlier. I agree that hitting that milestone is crucial.
Exactly. And beyond that, I was thinking the final product launch should be our target for the end of Q3.
I see. That's a bit more aggressive than what we had originally planned. Do you think that's realistic?
Upon further review, I agree that Q3 might be pushing it a bit. Maybe we should aim for the end of Q4 instead?
Okay, that feels more achievable. And in terms of the actual deliverables, what key components did you have in mind?
Well, the core product, of course. But I also think we need to include comprehensive user guides and training materials.
Good point. Those supporting assets will be essential for ensuring a smooth launch and adoption.
Absolutely. And I'd also like to explore developing some promotional content we can use for marketing purposes.
Excellent idea. Having those assets ready to go will help us hit the ground running with our go-to-market strategy.
Exactly. So, in summary, we've got the prototype by the end of next month, final product launch by the end of Q4, and a full suite of supporting materials.
Sounds like a solid plan to me. I think that covers the key deliverables we need to focus on. Anything else you wanted to discuss?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I feel good about where we're at in terms of aligning on the priorities.
Great, me too. I'm excited to get started and deliver these impactful results for our partnership.
Likewise, Anna. Alright, I'll go ahead and document these agreed upon milestones and deliverables, and we can use that as our roadmap moving forward.
Sounds good. I appreciate you taking the time to have this discussion and get us on the same page. It's going to be a productive journey.
Absolutely. Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say. Alright, I'm off to get that documentation squared away.
Lesson 9: Avoiding a missed flight.
Luckily, my next flight had a long layover, so I didn't miss it.
Oh, that's great to hear. Nothing's worse than the stress of barely making a connection.
Tell me about it. I was sweating bullets trying to rush through that last airport terminal.
I can imagine. Those last-minute dashes through the airport are never fun. What happened that made you so close to missing your flight?
Well, my first flight ended up being delayed due to some mechanical issues. By the time I reached my connecting airport, I only had about 15 minutes before my next departure.
Yikes, that's cutting it close. I'm glad you were still able to make it in time. What did you do to ensure you didn't miss that last flight?
I booked it as fast as I could through the terminal, weaving between other passengers. And luckily, the gate was close to where I landed, so I didn't have too far to go.
Phew, that's a relief. Navigating those tight connections can be such a workout, both physically and mentally.
You got that right. I was completely out of breath by the time I reached the gate. But the relief of seeing that plane still there was unreal.
I bet. There's nothing worse than arriving at the gate only to see the plane pulling away. That sinking feeling is the worst.
Ugh, don't remind me. I've had that happen before, and it's just the most frustrating experience.
I can imagine. Especially when you're already exhausted from the stress of the close call. It's enough to make you want to just throw in the towel.
Definitely. But hey, at least this time I made it. And the long layover was a real lifesaver. I was able to catch my breath and relax a bit before the next leg of my journey.
That's a great silver lining. Having that buffer time can make all the difference when you've had a hectic connection.
Absolutely. I was so grateful for that extended layover. It really took the edge off and allowed me to regroup.
Well, I'm glad it all worked out for you in the end, John. Travel can be such an adventure, but it's always nice when things go smoothly, even if just for one leg of the trip.
You got that right. Alright, next time I'm building in an extra hour for my layovers, just to be safe.
Haha, smart move. Better to have that extra cushion than to be running on fumes. Enjoy the rest of your travels, John.
Will do, thanks Anna. I'm gonna put my feet up and soak in this nice, long layover.
Lesson 10, A Trip to the Doctor.
The doctor's visit was quite high. He listened to my heart and made me cough. He asked me some questions as well.
Oh no, what brought you in to see the doctor, John? I hope everything is all right.
Well, I've been feeling a bit under the weather lately, congestion, sore throat, that kind of thing. So I decided it was time to get it checked out.
I see. Better to be safe and get it looked at, especially if the symptoms have been persisting. What did the doctor find?
He did a thorough examination, listened to my breathing, and checked my vitals. Turns out I've got a bit of a respiratory infection going on.
Ah, that explains the coughing and congestion. Did he prescribe any medication to help clear that up?
Yeah, he gave me a course of antibiotics to take, as well as some cough syrup and decongestants to manage the symptoms.
Good, I'm glad he was able to provide you with a treatment plan. Getting on top of a respiratory infection early on is important.
Definitely. He said if I stay on top of the meds and get plenty of rest, I should start feeling better within the next week or so.
That's a relief. It's always tough when you're not feeling well, but having that clear path to recovery makes a big difference.
Absolutely. The doc also recommended I increase my fluid intake and try to avoid strenuous activity until I'm fully recovered.
Smart advice. Giving your body the time and resources it needs to fight off the infection is key. No point in pushing yourself too hard.
Exactly. I'm planning to take it easy for the next few days and just focus on resting up. Gotta nip this thing in the bud.
Sounds like a wise plan. I'm glad you went in to see the doctor and got the treatment you need. Wishing you a speedy recovery, John.
Thanks, Anna. I appreciate the well wishes. Fingers crossed this kicks the infection quickly so I can get back to feeling my best.
I'm sure it will. Just take it easy, stay on top of your meds, and let your body do its thing. You've got this.
Will do. Alright, I'm off to go brew myself a nice, hot cup of tea and hunker down for a relaxing evening.
Lesson 11, Trying New Hobbies.
Think yes, it's a great way to learn something new and have fun.
I agree, John. Trying out new hobbies can be such a rewarding experience. What kind of new activities have you been considering?
Well, I've been toying with the idea of taking up woodworking. It seems like a really satisfying and creative outlet.
Ooh, woodworking. That's such a cool hobby. What is it about it that's appealing to you?
I love the idea of being able to take raw materials and turn them into something functional and beautiful. It just seems so fulfilling.
Absolutely. There's something really special about working with your hands to create tangible, useful objects.
Exactly. And I think it would be a great way for me to unwind and de-stress after a long day at the office.
For sure. Having that hands-on, focused activity can be such a great mental break. Plus, you'd end up with some really neat pieces for your home.
Definitely. I'm picturing all the cool shelves, tables, and other furnishings I could make. It'd be like having my own little workshop.
That sounds amazing, John. And the nice thing about woodworking is that there's always more to learn and explore as you get better at it.
Absolutely. I like the idea of being able to continuously improve my skills and techniques. It'd be an ongoing creative challenge.
Exactly. And who knows, you might even find that you have a real knack for it and end up making some beautiful, high-quality pieces.
That would be incredible. I'd love to get to the point where I could do custom commissions or even sell some of my creations.
Wow, that would be so rewarding. Turning a hobby into a side hustle or small business is such an amazing accomplishment.
It really would be. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. I think I'm going to look into some beginner woodworking classes in the area.
That's a fantastic idea. Having an instructor to teach you the fundamentals will be so helpful when you're first starting out.
Definitely. And I bet it would be a great way to meet other people who share the same passion. We could swap tips and ideas.
Absolutely. The woodworking community seems so welcoming and collaborative. You'll be able to learn so much from fellow hobbyists.
I can't wait. This is really inspiring me to take the plunge and give it a try. Thanks for the encouragement, Anna.
Anytime, John. I'm thrilled you're excited about this new potential hobby. Wishing you the best of luck as you dive into the world of woodworking.
I appreciate it. Alright, I'm off to start researching some local classes. This is the start of a beautiful new creative chapter.
Lesson 12, A Delightful Culinary Adventure.
The biryani was delicious. Did you face any challenges in preparing it?
Oof, the biryani was quite the culinary adventure, let me tell you. At first, I was a bit intimidated by all the spices and layering involved.
I can imagine. Biryani is such a complex dish with so many intricate flavors and techniques. What was the most challenging part for you?
Well, getting the rice cooked just right was probably the trickiest part. I had to be really precise with the timing and temperature to avoid ending up with mushy or undercooked grains.
Ah, yes, perfecting that fluffy, tender texture of the rice is crucial for a proper biryani. How did you manage to nail it in the end?
Lots of trial and error, to be honest. I had to do a few test batches before I found the sweet spot. But I eventually landed on a method that yielded those beautifully separate, fragrant grains.
Nice work! Persistence and attention to detail really pay off when tackling a complex dish like that. What about the spice blend? Was that a challenge as well?
Definitely. balancing all the different spices, the turmeric, cumin, coriander, cardamom, cinnamon. It was like a delicate dance. But I did some research and managed to land on a blend that gave the biryani that authentic, mouth-watering flavor.
I can just imagine the aroma. You must have really put a lot of love and care into perfecting that spice mix.
I did. And the best part was seeing the look on your face when you took that first bite. The way your eyes lit up, it was so rewarding.
Ha, you caught that, did you? I couldn't help myself, it was just so unbelievably good. All your hard work definitely paid off.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Cooking can be such a labor of love, but moments like that make it all worthwhile.
Absolutely. And I think the best part of trying new dishes, especially complex ones like biryani, is the sense of accomplishment when you nail it.
Definitely. It's such an empowering feeling to tackle something challenging in the kitchen and come out the other side with a delicious result.
For sure. Well, you've certainly inspired me to get a little more adventurous with my own cooking. Maybe I'll try my hand at biryani next.
Ooh, I'd love to see what you come up with. Just let me know if you need any tips or advice along the way. I'd be happy to share what I've learned.
Awesome, I'll definitely take you up on that. This could be the start of a delicious new culinary rivalry between us.
Haha, bring it on. I welcome the competition. Though I have a feeling we'll both end up winners, no matter who makes the better biryani.
You got that right. Alright, time for me to start planning my biryani masterpiece. Thanks for the inspiration, Anna.
Lesson 13, Birthday Party Preparations.
If it's a birthday party, you typically take a gift and a birthday card to the person who is having the birthday.
Absolutely, that's such an important part of celebrating someone's special day. What kind of gift do you usually go for?
Well, it really depends on the person and their interests. I try to put some thought into selecting a gift they'll genuinely appreciate.
That personal touch makes all the difference. Have you ever stumbled upon the perfect gift by chance?
Oh, definitely. One year, I was browsing this little boutique and came across this gorgeous scarf that I knew my sister would love. She ended up wearing it all the time.
That's so nice when you can find that hidden gem. And the timing just works out perfectly for the occasion.
It really is. Though sometimes I struggle with coming up with gift ideas, especially for the more difficult to buy for people.
I know the feeling. It can be tricky to find something unique and thoughtful. What about gift cards? Do you ever go that route?
Gift cards can be a good fallback option, but I try not to rely on them too heavily. I prefer to put in the extra effort to find a personalized gift.
I agree, it's so much more meaningful when you can tell the person really put thought into it. Though a gift card can still be appreciated.
Absolutely. And of course, the birthday card is a must have, regardless of the gift. I like to write a heartfelt message inside.
Definitely. The card is such a nice way to express your well wishes and personal sentiments. It really completes the gift giving experience.
Exactly. I always make sure to pick out a card that reflects the recipient's personality or interests in some way.
That's a great tip. The card can really tie the whole gift package together and make it feel extra special.
Agreed. And I think the actual act of giving the gift and card is just as important as the items themselves.
Ooh, good point. The presentation and delivery can make a big difference in how the gift is received and appreciated.
Definitely. I try to make a bit of a moment out of it. Build up the anticipation a little bit.
I love that. It's all about creating that memorable experience for the birthday person. Makes them feel truly celebrated.
Absolutely. Alright, I'm feeling inspired to start planning my next birthday gift and card. Thanks for the great discussion, Anna.
Anytime, John. I'm sure whoever the lucky recipient is, they're going to be thrilled with your thoughtful gift.
I certainly hope so. Alright, time to get my creative juices flowing. Catch you later.
Lesson 14, Planning the Perfect Birthday Bash.
Alright, let's talk about the key elements for planning the perfect birthday bash: tips, gifts, and entertainment.
Ooh, I love a good birthday party. Where should we start? What are some top tips for making it a truly memorable celebration?
Well, first and foremost, I'd say it's important to get an accurate headcount and RSVPs from guests. That way you can plan the right amount of food, drinks, and activities.
Absolutely, that attention to detail is crucial. You don't want to end up with too little or too much of anything. What other tips do you have?
I'd also suggest sending out invitations well in advance, so people can block off the date. And try to get a mix of structured events and open social time.
Good call. Giving people plenty of notice and balancing structure with flexibility is key. What about the gift giving aspect?
Ah, yes, the gifts. As we discussed before, putting thought into personalized gifts and cards is always appreciated. And don't forget to have a plan for where guests can leave them.
That's a great point. Having a designated gift table or area keeps things organized. Any other gift related tips?
Well, you could also consider setting up a virtual or physical gift registry, so guests have some guidance on what the birthday person would enjoy.
Ooh, that's smart. Takes the guesswork out of it for the guests. And then the birthday person gets things they'll actually use.
Exactly. And finally, when it comes to entertainment, I'd recommend a mix of music, games, and activities to keep everyone engaged.
Wonderful suggestions. Making sure there's a nice variety of entertainment options ensures there's something for everyone to enjoy.
Absolutely. Maybe even hire a party photographer to capture all the special moments throughout the celebration.
Oh, that's such a great idea. Having professional photos to look back on later really elevates the experience.
Agreed. Those are just a few of the key tips I'd recommend for planning the ultimate birthday bash. Anything else you'd add?
Maybe just emphasizing the importance of staying flexible and being prepared to adapt as needed on the day of the event.
Excellent point. No matter how much you plan, there's always bound to be a few curveballs. Being adaptable is crucial.
Exactly. Well, I think we've covered a great overview of the essential elements for throwing an amazing birthday party. Your guests are sure to have a blast.
I certainly hope so. Alright, time to start putting these tips into action for my own upcoming birthday celebration.
Exciting. I'm sure it's going to be an absolute hit. Can't wait to hear all about it afterwards.
You got it. Appreciate all the great advice, Anna. Now the real planning begins.
Lesson 15, Exploring Ontario's Wonders.
Ontario contains Canada's largest city, Toronto, as well as the capital city of Canada.
Ah, yes. Ontario is such a diverse and fascinating province. I've always wanted to explore more of it.
Definitely. Toronto is obviously a major draw, but there's so much more to see and do throughout the rest of Ontario.
Absolutely. From the stunning natural landscapes to the charming small towns, Ontario really has something for everyone.
Exactly. Have you had a chance to visit the capital city of Ottawa before?
Unfortunately, no. I've only been to Toronto, but I've heard wonderful things about Ottawa. What's it like?
It's a beautiful city, steeped in Canadian history and culture. The Parliament buildings and museums are definitely must-see attractions.
Oh, that sounds incredible. I'd love to wander through the historic streets and take in all the iconic landmarks.
It's such a picturesque city. And the museums there are top-notch, you could easily spend days exploring them all.
That's right up my alley. I'm a total museum junkie. What other gems would you recommend checking out in Ontario?
Well, the Niagara Falls, of course, are an absolute must. The sheer power and beauty of those waterfalls is truly breathtaking.
Ah, yes. I've seen so many stunning photos, but I can only imagine how awe-inspiring it is in person.
Definitely. And it's not just the falls themselves, the whole Niagara region has so much to offer, from wineries to adventure activities.
Ooh, I'd love to do a wine tasting tour. And maybe even take a thrilling trip on the Maid of the Mist boat ride.
Absolutely. That's the perfect way to experience the falls up close. Just make sure to bring a poncho, you're guaranteed to get soaked.
Haha, good tip. I'll make sure to be prepared. What other natural wonders would you suggest exploring in Ontario?
Well, the Canadian Shield region is simply stunning, with its rugged, rocky landscapes and pristine lakes.
Oh, that sounds like my kind of place. I bet the hiking and camping opportunities are incredible.
Definitely. Places like Algonquin Provincial Park are true outdoor wonderlands, teeming with wildlife and breathtaking scenery.
I'm adding that to my must-visit list right now. Ontario is clearly a treasure trove of natural beauty.
Absolutely. It's such a diverse and underrated province. I really think you'd love exploring all that it has to offer.
I can't wait to start planning a trip. Thanks for giving me such great insights and inspiration, John.
Anytime. I'm always happy to share my love for this wonderful province. Let me know if you need any other Ontario travel tips.
Will do. Alright, time for me to start researching some Ontario adventures. This is going to be epic.
I have no doubt about that. Enjoy the planning process, the actual trip is going to be even better.
Lesson 16, Respectful Dialogue on Indigenous Cultures.
You know, in different parts of North America, the people have historically been referred to as Indians, but that term is generally considered outdated and disrespectful now.
Ah, yes, you're absolutely right. The preferred and more respectful terms are Indigenous peoples or First Nations. Using the right language is so important when discussing these cultures.
Definitely. It's a sensitive topic, but one that's crucial to address with care and nuance. What's the best way to approach learning about Indigenous histories and traditions?
I think the key is to approach it with an open mind, a willingness to listen and learn, and a deep respect for these rich, diverse cultures. Avoiding generalizations and stereotypes is crucial.
Absolutely. And it's important to recognize the unique experiences and perspectives of different Indigenous groups, rather than lumping them all together.
Exactly. Each nation, tribe, or community has their own distinct histories, traditions, and ways of life that deserve to be honored and understood on their own terms.
Right, that nuance and specificity is so important. Have you had the chance to engage with any Indigenous cultural experiences firsthand?
Yes, actually. I had the opportunity to attend a traditional powwow celebration, and it was such an eye-opening and humbling experience. The music, dancing, and sense of community were truly special.
That sounds amazing. I can imagine it must have been both beautiful and powerful to witness those cultural traditions up close.
It really was. And the people were so welcoming and eager to share their heritage. It made me realize how much I still have to learn about the rich tapestry of Indigenous cultures across North America.
Absolutely. There's always more to discover and appreciate. Have you read any books or resources that you would recommend for someone looking to educate themselves?
Definitely. There are some fantastic memoirs, history books, and ethnographies written by Indigenous authors that provide invaluable first-hand perspectives. I'd be happy to share a few title recommendations.
That would be great. I'm always eager to expand my knowledge and understanding on this important topic.
Wonderful. I'll put together a list of some accessible, eye-opening reads that really delve into the diversity and resilience of Indigenous peoples. It's such a vital part of North American history and culture.
I appreciate that. Learning from authentic voices and experiences is so crucial when it comes to these sensitive subjects. This has been a really enlightening conversation.
I'm so glad you found it helpful. Promoting greater awareness and respect for Indigenous peoples is something I'm really passionate about. There's still so much work to be done, but open dialogues like this are an important step.
Absolutely. Thank you for your thoughtfulness and expertise on this topic. I look forward to continuing to expand my knowledge and perspective.
Of course, John. I'm always happy to discuss and share resources on this subject. Cultivating greater understanding is the first step towards meaningful change.
Well said. Alright, I'm off to do some more reading and research. This has been a wonderfully enriching conversation.
Lesson 17, Packing for the Perfect Camping Trip.
I think that covers the essentials for our camping trip. Oh, maybe we should also pack a small first aid kit, just in case.
Good call. That's an important addition to the packing list. You never know when a minor injury or situation might pop up out in the wilderness.
Exactly. It's always better to be prepared. What kind of things do you usually include in your first aid kit for camping?
Well, the basics like bandages, antiseptic wipes, gauze, and adhesive tape are a must. And of course, any personal medications you might need.
Definitely. And it's a good idea to have some pain relievers on hand, as well as things like bug spray and sunscreen.
Absolutely. And don't forget any necessary tools, like scissors or tweezers, in case you need to remove a tick or splinter.
Good point. Those little multi-purpose tools can really come in handy. Anything else you'd recommend packing?
Maybe a small flashlight or headlamp, just for added visibility and safety at night. And don't forget the matches or lighter for starting campfires.
Right, can't forget those fire starting essentials. And maybe a compact emergency blanket, just in case the temperatures drop.
Great idea. And don't forget the all-important map and compass, in case we need to navigate our way back from any trails or adventures.
Oh, for sure. Navigational tools are crucial, especially if we're going to be exploring unfamiliar territory.
Definitely. And it's also a good idea to let someone back home know our camping itinerary, just in case.
Absolutely. That way, if anything were to happen, there would be someone who knows where to look for us.
Exactly. Safety first, especially when you're out in the great outdoors. I think we've covered all the bases now.
I believe so too. This camping trip is going to be so much fun, but it's important to be prepared for anything.
Couldn't agree more. With all these essentials packed, we can focus on enjoying the beautiful scenery and making unforgettable memories.
Exactly. Alright, time to start gathering everything together. This is going to be an epic adventure.
I'm so excited. Let's do this. Just wait until we're sitting around the campfire, toasting marshmallows under the stars.
Can't wait. Okay, time to get packing. This is going to be the best camping trip ever.